Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 2. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam matra vastu shivadam tapotrayon mulanam Srimad-Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parerishwaraha Sadyo Hirdi Avarudhyatetra Kritibi Shushubi Tatshanat. Translation: completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge the Supreme Lord is established within the heart. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So we'll only do one paragraph today of the purport. First paragraph. Religion includes four primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation from material bondage. Irreligious life is a barbarous condition. Indeed, human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating are the four principles of animal life. These are common both in animals and to human beings. But religion is the extra function of the human being. Without religion, human life is no better than animal life. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization and which makes reference to man's eternal relationship with God. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. This second text in this chapter 1, which is the second text of Srimad-Bhagavatam overall. The second text is giving the boundaries of Srimad-Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam going to discuss? Just like in a book, when you read introduction, there's a whole description of the contents. Then you have foreword, which introduces the subject matter of the book. And you have introduction. Introduction gives us synopsis of what will be covered in the whole text. Just like in introduction to Bhagavad Gita, practically the Gita is spoken there. And many verses are quoted. What will be discussed? What is the subject matter contained? So in Srimad-Bhagavatam we had that text 1, which covered a lot of matter. In fact, summary of Bhagavatam is in the text 1. Here in text 2, the subject matter, specifically of introducing Bhagavatam, it says, so the first word coming in this verse is Dharma. The statement is Dharma projita kaitava, kicking out cheating religion, completely rejecting projita. Kaitava means fruitive intention, not a pure intention, but some kaitava is something like cheating, some other motive. So the first paragraph is discussing dharma concept. Dharma here Prabhupada translates as religion, but as we know, religion, when Prabhupada writes religion, it's not in the worldly sense of religion. Many times because how will he translate dharma? Occupation, duty, religion is there. So then Prabhupada clarifies many times that when we say dharma, it's not that mundane religion, because mundane religion, one can convert in and out of it depending on his faith. And it's considered okay. I was following that, now I'm following this. Okay, now what is your religion? This is my religion. Okay. This is what you have faith in. Okay. But dharma cannot be changed, cannot be given up. It is fixed. So the dharma of the living entity is to serve, and in a pure healthy condition, serving God. In an unhealthy condition, serving anything other than God, basically serving Maya through senses, mind, representations of Maya. In the first purport, Prabhupada speaks specifically about dharma, religion. He says that religion includes 4 primary subjects: pious activity, economic development, satisfaction of senses, and finally liberation. We see this in worldly religion. Worldly religion has all of these because people are concerned about that. You can't tell someone to give up sense gratification, not in this material world. They have to enjoy, the jiva has to enjoy. So religion includes it. But then, okay, that topic has not come about pure religion first. So the establishing concept of religion. Here, religion in the mundane sense, it also satisfies our senses, as Prabhupada said, that we come into this world and we want to enjoy. So we do some activity, pious activity, so that we can enjoy. So karma, then we do dharma. When we do dharma, then we get some arth, material benefit, with which we'll enjoy. So we continue like that, and when we get fed up of that, then we try to get liberation, try to escape this material life, because we are not getting happy by this way. Okay, so what about option of no religion? Here Prabhupada said this is a barbarous life, taken from the word barbarian in English. Barbarian means someone uncultured, uncouth, uneducated, basically no etiquette, just living life like that. So if we don't have dharma, then what will we do? What do we follow? We follow our own desire. Or we'll give up our liberty, our freedom, just like in religion, we give up independence to some extent. So we'll give up our independence to some sect or some ideology, political movement or social movement. We'll give up our freedom for that. Okay, we'll behave like that, what they want us to do. We'll wear this, certain political party in South India, they all wear black. They all like and dislike certain things, you'll follow. Because the jiva always has to identify with something. We have to identify, we are meant to serve God and come and follow Him. That tendency is there. Then if we don't do it for God, we'll do it for something else. Now in the West, they have a big problem of gangs. Everyone is in a gang. Kids, youth, all the people, women, girls, they have gangs. And of course, they'll be up to no good in that gang. It's not that we'll do anything good. Because they want that sense of belonging and following something and being in a group, and that's actually meant to be in dharma, dharmic principle. So without religion, the jiva, what will he follow? He'll follow his own mind, his own senses. Where will that lead him? Manorathana sati dhavato bahi. Prahlad Maharaj says that those who do not know that the goal is natividu swadgatim hi vishnum durashaya hi bahir arthamanina. Those who don't know that we are meant to serve Krishna, Vishnu, they will instead see this external manifestation and engage in serving their senses, trying to satisfy, enjoying this material world. Bahir arthamanina. They'll see this as some value. There's no value. It's temporary and it's material, and I'm spiritual. But people who are not devoted to Krishna, they'll see this external manifestation as some value. Vairatmananda. Then it says, Manorathena Sadidavato Bahi, Tepishatantra Murudam, Andayatha Anday Upanyamanina, Tepishatantra Murudam Nibada. So, what is that? Yeah, they'll see some value in this material world, but actually, it's they Manorathanasidi Dhavato Bahi. That Rath is, vehicle, it moves. So mind is like on a Rath, just going without any direction. So if we don't follow Dharma, we'll not have direction, we'll not follow anything fixed. We've seen also that some people, some enter Grihastha ashram, some enter Brahmacharya ashram, and some try to escape both in between. And then what happens? They become very disturbed. First thing, health goes. I personally observe health, and other thing is direction is difficult. One person just we're following our mind, what we'll do, when we'll eat, when we'll sleep. We'll sleep very late, wake up very early, not follow. So it's not a good proposal when somebody is not following Dharma at all, because then you come under your mind. And then whimsical. It's whimsical. In Gita it says, one who gives up it gives up Shastra. It's another thing, it's same thing. If we say give up Dharma, give up Shastra. Give Shastra. If you accept Shastra, you have to accept that I am a Jiva, I have to come under certain Varna and Ashram. If you give up Shastra, means you will not follow anything. So it says that Yashastra Vidhim Utsrijya, who gives up the Vidhi of Shastra, Vartate Kama Karataha, and lives according to his own desire, Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti, he will not get perfection. Actually, the Jiva now is trying to get some kind of perfection through earning his money, building his house, becoming part of some social group, and basically we're trying to get some balance, harmony in our life and perfection. It will not happen. Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti, na sukham na param gatim. Even happiness won't come when we give up Shastra. Giving up Dharma, Shastra, same thing. Na sukham na param gatim. He will not get the supreme destination. The Shastra must be followed just like a bull is tied by a rope, and the bull, when the owner pulls the rope, the bull must follow. He has to, because it's there, it pains. You follow. So in the same way, the Jiva is bound by Shastra. He's bound by the injunctions of Shastra. He cannot give them up. Cannot give it up. And if he does, that is, there'll be a reaction in his life. Immediately, not talk about next life. He will suffer in this life. Human life, it says in this purport, begins with religion. A religious system will tell you everything. We have lower level religious system. It will just, you don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. Okay. Otherwise, whatever you want, you can do. But a more comprehensive religious system will govern every aspect of life much more. Not simply some moral principle. Because actually we are a living entity in the conditioned state, has economic, social aspect of life, the economic, social, emotional, political. So religion has to govern everything. It has to govern all of these things. Everything should be godly. For example, even in Sanatana Dharma, even after marriage, the religious system is governing association with the wife. As Prabhupada would say, that association, union with the wife should be only once a month at the time when she can produce a child. Now this is not in other religions. Simply get married. So you have a situation when a certain religious, terrorist religious organization. Or some will say they don't have religion, terrorists. Anyway, so what they were doing, they'll marry different women, enjoy, then divorce, and marry another woman, then divorce, and like that, and goes on. Because they're married. They're doing it in marriage. But in Sanatana Dharma it's specific. You get married and there's no divorce. In fact, there's no word for divorce in Sanatana Dharma. And only for procreating children. And what's the basis of the marriage? What is the base? The basis is self-realization, spiritual advancement. So, religion, in a basic mundane religion, it will simply give moral codes, but a more comprehensive, deeper religious system governs all aspects of life. It tells us about our economic system, what occupation we should do in that occupation, and what to observe, which occupation, socially, what is the standing stage of each person according to his guna. It's very comprehensive. So in that way, that is a higher level of religious system. So, but religion begins, following any system of religion, then human life starts. But even within the religious system, there are different grades of religion. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. In chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita, it says, text 2 and 3, because Arjuna asks in chapter 17 that, okay, one who follows Dharma is right, one who doesn't follow Dharma is wrong. But what about Dharma that we follow our own? We make up our own Dharma. Is that okay? I'll follow, but my own. But Krishna then begins by saying that there are different types of Dharma, religious system, and that is governed by the guna of the person. Then he says that according to the guna, he will gravitate towards a certain religious system. If we see today in the modern world that many people are converting to some particular religion, it's not that it's that religion, people preaching so nicely, but the guna of the people is at a level which is matching that religious system. Now, people are at a level which they're prone to do and eat certain things, and so they're more inclined to do those things, and that religion is fitting that, so they'll do that. That is the explanation. Not that someone is propagating so nicely. Unless it's at a higher level, then it's not easy to come into. One has to become purified to take, for example, like if we are teaching sattvic principles, a religion is sattvic, so it's hard for people to come. So there's a lot of purification that happens through kirtan, prasadam, and then we can hear anything. Otherwise, they cannot hear much, not be able to hear. So the religion someone picks is according to his guna, that guna. And in Kali Yuga, the guna is low. That is, why is that? Well, two reasons. One is that time is deteriorating, has a deteriorating feature. It starts off with higher level. As we go, things deteriorate. That is time, nature of time in this material world. If you look at it in a small or big time scale, that everything here will degrade, degenerate, our material body and this material world, and dharma also, that will also deteriorate. So, as by the time we come to Kali Yuga, deterioration is much more, and that is also to facilitate the different jivas who want different environments to live and practice. Those who did not want to follow Dharma, they'll be born now and Dharma is removed and okay, take birth now. Those who wanted to follow Dharma, but not that it has to govern every aspect of my life, just some little, okay, so the Sanatana Dharma governs everything. And so that is, they will not be born in that situation. So according to the guna. But any religious system we follow, that is human life. Human life starts because we are accepting some regulation. A human being has to accept regulation. Some people say that, okay, see, animals are so regulated, they sleep early, they wake up with the sun, why human beings can't do that? I saw one signpost on the road that ants, they go in lanes, so why can't you, rascal motorists, can't you keep the lane? You're changing the lane. Even ants are doing that. So animals have some, yes, but they're not doing it out of their own choice. They're programmed, they're not given that free will. They must act in a very confined space. Paramatma tells, do this, do that, and they have little free will. But human beings have a greater free will. And so, if they do anything wrong, then they'll suffer that. A lion killing and eating an animal, there's no karma. But a human being, it is. So they have to exercise proper discrimination. They're given that discrimination, vivek, that, okay, I had to do this or that and compare what activities to do. They're given that, and they're given high intelligence. So they are obligated. So a human being who decides to accept some principles by which to live his life, dharmic, that is the beginning of human life actually. Otherwise it's animal life. And Prabhupada says here, barbarous life. It's very hellish. If you have a society where people are living and their economic system, financial system is made up, something of their own, then definitely it will crash. Something will go wrong. It's man-made. We are meant to follow God-given way of economy, social system. But if we do our own, then we have to suffer. There will be reaction. We are not perfect. We'll make a mistake and change it again. Keep changing. So, when the human being accepts dharma, then he accepts to follow these rules. This is human life. Human life means that he has accepted some higher principle by which to live his life, not his whimsical thought. Whimsical thought is that my mind is in Maya. So what will I choose? What kind of religion I choose? If Gita says that Indiyana manobuddhit asya adhisthana muchate ete vimohite yesha kama rupa durasadam, that the karma, Maya, has taken over my mind and senses. So that same contaminated Maya mind, I'm going to figure out how to come out of Maya. I cannot. And the same Maya mind, I'm going to see how to live a dharmic life. No. We have to accept some higher principles. So the human being who has accepted, or we can say the jiva in the human form, who has accepted the principles of religion by which to live his life, that is human. That is human. Then he lives some kind of regulation, what time to wake up, what time to sleep. And Srila Prabhupada, he to some extent appreciated other religious systems, non-Vedic. He said it's forms of Vaishnavism, because they accept God, and under God they are practicing some things. But of course, as we said, there are levels of religion. In the purport, Prabhupada is actually paraphrasing that, Dharma taisham adhiko vishesha dharmena hina pashubi samana. So how does it start? Ahara bhaya nidra maithunyam cha samanyam hi etat pashubi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. So Prabhupada is paraphrasing. Yes, definitely all you know this verse, but someone else may not. So, eating, sleeping, mating, defending is performed by humans and animals. It's the same activity, but only dharma, acting in a relation with the Supreme under his order, that can be done only by humans. And humans who don't do that are on the animal platform. So there has to be a system. And if we remove that system, animal life means they act according to their senses. They're propelled by senses. I'm walking, now my eyes are dictating, I'll follow. Now my nose or genitals are dictating, and we follow. This is animal life. It's very dark, it's a very dark society that doesn't follow religion, because next birth is a dog and cat. What kind of civilization is that? As Prabhupada said, that if you put a bunch of dogs in a room, what do you expect? They'll fight, they'll quarrel, They'll kill each other. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Even now, if we see a lot of within ISKCON, so many confusion and scandal and all that, it's simply that we did not come again on that higher platform, which comes through Varnashram. Through Varnashram, one is forced to act in a certain way, follow principles. If we don't, then all the desires and tendencies are still there. So not only we follow religion, but follow Varnashram, cultural aspect of religion, which helps us to follow religion by regulating association, regulating social intercourse, who are we mixing with, and who is a leader, who is a spiritual guide. Everything is regulated in a proper cultural system. Okay, but so Prabhupada somehow appreciated other religious systems. He said, okay, they're following something. They are following. And so that is animalized. So I was saying that if we don't follow anything, then we follow the mind and senses and their dictates. And then we'll change the law to follow that, to suit that. So now in India, there are changes happening, even now in the judiciary. Before it was rooted in Manu Samhita. Prabhupada said this, that Indian law is derived from Manu Samhita. And Manu Samhita, it's basically dharmic, it's Krishna's will. Through the rishis, Krishna gives the knowledge also. But now that the laws that are coming in, we don't know what are they following? They're following their whim, senses. So now they're debating, you may or not know, same-sex marriage, should we accept it? They're debating. And good, government opposed it. But judiciary is independent of the legislature. So, but then, anyway, we're talking politics, that it shouldn't come under the judiciary. This is not a principle. It's not something a judge will decide. This is, you have to take stock of human, religious, cultural, and look at the mass of body of people. What do they, what is the system? What is the culture? What is Veda, basically? They should follow. But because we fell into that trap of giving up Manu Samhita and accepting man-made religion, now where will we stop? Where will we stop? We'll review everything. This is not allowed. Maybe we should allow it. According to Dharma, they'll not allow same-sex marriage or association. They won't. But according to people's whim and feeling, they'll change the law to suit it. Then what will they do next? We can't understand what they'll do. Where will it lead? It can lead to very serious consequences. It will be very serious. So therefore it says, na sukham na param with him. Who give up Shastra, no happiness. Will not be happy. But you will not know now, we may know in 100 years, 50 years, when that law really comes in. There's a saying in English, don't remove offense. Now you have to take into account, there's sayings in English, in Sanskrit, Hindi, all that. Mostly they're based on farm, village, forest. So the saying goes, don't remove a fence unless you know why it's there. You can imagine, you're in a farm, why is this fence? Well, remove it. Then you see bull charging at you 100 kilometers an hour, about to hit you. Oh, it was for the bull. Or whatever it was for. You have to know why it was there. Otherwise, don't remove it. So people don't understand. Why is this law there? Marriage law. Why is there? We can just live together. Try to understand. First understand. And laws governing duties of women. What's the purpose? Understand the purpose, then try to remove it. Otherwise, just follow the tradition. And we'll think of primitive people. No, intelligent people, just follow the system. We'll not know, just like now, if a line is straight, another line is straight, but it's 0.000001 degrees off of that other line. But you can't see, you can't tell the difference. Yeah, but you'll know if they go up, they continue moving, then slowly it will diverge. So similarly, if we diverge from Shastra and Dharma, little, it's okay, small thing, but let it go on. What will happen? We can't understand. Be very serious. So, when Shastra says we are duty bound, the jiva is duty bound to follow dharma till he's fully liberated, it's for our benefit. You know, as Prabhupada said, Krishna doesn't need your service, even our offerings, but for our benefit, he's saying. We don't have perfect senses. But if you follow higher intelligent sense of Shastra, religion, sadhus, then we'll be properly guided. Even though it may not make sense to us now, we do not make sense, or it may not be enjoyable. That's another thing we want to enjoy. So we change dharma to enjoy. It's not fun. But in long run, it will be happy. Then if the society breaks down and there is no safety, no regulation for unprotected people, that is a very bad situation. So to avoid that, it's better that we follow what were the principles. Then, if you don't understand, you will understand later. Later we'll understand, we'll become purified and we will be able to see Shastra Chakshu through Shastra. Once a disciple of Prabhupada said that, Srila Prabhupada, everyone's bowing down to you. I don't feel like bowing down because I don't feel like it. So Prabhupada thought about it, said, you first bow down, after some time you'll understand. And he said, okay, he did it. So that was Srila Prabhupada. So you don't understand, just do it, follow what Shastra says, because it's from a perfect intelligence, it's from a perfect source. And at a time, maybe this life, next life, it's very rare, but if you become Krishna conscious and perfect, then Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, then Krishna will communicate directly to you. Then you'll be able to understand religious principle. Krishna will communicate. Till then, just follow Gita, follow Bhagavatam, follow the devotees, follow the Guru, follow culture, really culture. Prabhupada brought his disciples from the West and said, learn from Indian culture. Devotee Indians? No. Karmis. How many? There were not many devotees. If you look at ISKCON's definition of devotee, there were not so many followers of ISKCON. But Prabhupada said, no, anyone in India, just follow that culture. So that culture should be followed. And so Dharma encompasses all this, the culture, the economy, the social aspect, political aspect, everything that it's done according to Shastra, according to God consciousness. It's done in a way to awaken the self-realization of the devotee, of the Badaji, conditioned soul. So if this is followed properly, then people will become happy. They'll be able to attain the perfection. And they'll be able to get liberation. This is what the purpose of religion, civilization, culture is. Veda is meant to give this. We will get it if we follow. If we don't follow, if we start following our own things and give up rules, then we'll suffer. When we are spiritually perfect, then at some point we can, and we don't say that because who is perfect? And actually those who become perfect, they're going to want to follow, to set example to others. As Krishna told Arjuna, even if you think you're perfect, you don't have to follow your dharma as a Kshatriya. Anyway, follow it so that other Kshatriyas won't be misguided. Because you're a great personality. They'll say, look, Arjuna did that, I can do it. Arjuna, he did it, he's so great. He said, so to set example. So even if we become Krishna conscious fully, we're pure, now I can associate with women, unrestricted, or we don't have to follow social rules. No, then do it to set example. But actually we are not. Who is on that level? Many people think they're advanced. I heard from one senior Prabhupada disciple. He said, I don't know his opinion, I'm quoting it. He said, one of the biggest problems in ISKCON is people think they're more advanced than they are. Maybe they are. That is his opinion. But anyway, let's follow. Even if we are. We'll follow the rules. And then we'll get perfection. So this verse is speaking about Dharma. Prabhupada outlines in the first paragraph simply about Dharma. Then it goes on about Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion, real religion. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai.